Hi, this is Lisa with a walk down memory lane, and I am doing a background this afternoon. The background we are going to make, you can see on this card, uses a penny black stamp, a Hero Arts Studio Calico stamp. It uses some fun Ranger products like the Distressed ink, the Acrylic Paint Dabbers, and the Perfect Pearls Mist. Today the video that I'm going to show you just is on the background. The border, I've done a video tutorial already before that you can find on the blog using the Spellbinders border ability, and you can see that on the blog already. So I'm just going to do the background today. So what I have started with is just a plain piece of American Crafts white cardstock, and that is cut to 4 inches by 5 1/4. And the reason I did that is I wanted the red cardstock, I wanted the wild cherry cardstock, I wanted to have a little border around my card. So I cut it just a little bit smaller than that. And we are going to start with the penny black stamp. It's a cling mounted stamp, and it's actually this one here is a little bit bigger than my Tim Holtz grid that I have. I don't have the very largest Tim Holtz grid, but this covers more of my stamp than what I need for my cards, so it's going to be okay for what I'm using it. First step is to take your acrylic paint dauber, and I am using it in Shell Pink. You're just going to shake it up just a little bit. Hit it on the palm of your hand, shake it up, get it nice and shaken up. Then you need to prime your stamp, and to prime your stamp, you need to put it down on your sheet, your craft mat. Put it down, and you're going to hear a little valve let go. And then you're just going to squeeze it, and now when paint comes out, you know it's primed and ready to go. So I'm just going to pick up that little paint so I don't waste anything, and I am dabbing it onto my stamp. See how I'm dabbing it on and not going across the stamp, because if you go across the stamp you're going to get lines. So with this stamp you need to dab the paint on in a nice layer, and as I'm doing that I'm also squeezing my paint dauber so that I get a good healthy dose of paint all over my stamp. Alright, and when you're happy with the amount of paint you have, just take your paper, flip over your stamp, and line it up. And it's kind of important to kind of line it up square with the card, just because on another step down the road, I'm going to use this stamp again with some inks to give it a little bit of a highlight, and I want to be able to see where I started. So as you can see, I'm giving a little harder pressure on this with the paint. Peel it back, and that's what you have. You have a nice looking background. I'm going to just clean off my stamp real quick with just a paper towel and get that excess paint off of my stamp. I don't want it to dry all over my stamp. And because of this really cool craft mat that I'm using, and I know it looks like the Ranger craft mat, the one that I'm using is a new craft mat, and I absolutely have fallen in love. This one is a little bit thicker than the Ranger craft mat. It's got a silicone back on here, and it does not roll up. The corners don't roll up, and it stays nice and put. I mean, I cannot move it. So it is a really, really, really nice mat. Okay, so now we have our paint layer down. I'm just going to take a heat gun and just dry that paint quick. And we have a very nice background. Alright, now we are going to take some Ranger Distressed inks with a Distressed ink pads and some blending tools. I'm using Worn Lipstick, Milled Lavender, and Dusty Concord. Just dump your ink blending tool in there, and you're just going to start off on the edge on your mat in big circles and bring it in onto your paper. There's really no right or wrong how you blend this. Start over here and then bring it in. That way you don't have any big lines on your cardstock. And go ahead and run over those painted hearts. The magic will happen in just a minute. I'm going to take my purple one, go with a little bit of Dusty Concord, bring it over from the side again, and blend it in with the warm lipstick color. And I'm going to finish with a little lighter milled lavender. Kind of blend it in here in that where those two colors meet. So I've got a nice blended background. Cover up my ink pads here a minute. Now the next step, I am going to take just a little bit of a paper towel, and I'm going to spray it so that it gets damp. I don't want it completely wet. I just want to get it a little damp. Give it about 2 or 3 squirts with my mister. I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to lightly run over just those little hearts, and that paint acts as a resist. So that paint is going to come back up nice and clean and clear again. So you can see on my paper towel, I'm just wiping that ink off of those hearts. Okay, when you have that step done, so you've got a little bit of ink on your paper towel, just rub that one more time and get a little bit more ink off. I'm going to heat set this layer again, just really quick heat set. And now I'm going to take this stamp set again, and I am going to take the a barn door distressed ink, and I'm going to stamp that up again. Okay. And the reason why it's important to see what I did before is this one here, I'm going to line it up, but then I'm going to offset it just a little bit so it's not perfectly on my painted hearts. Because remember that paint acts as a resist, so I'm not going to be able to have any ink on the stamp or on the heart itself. But I will have a really cool shadow effect here shortly. Alright, so that's just rubbing off the ink, the barn door ink off of the hearts. And if I use my wet paper towel again, now my hearts are getting lighter again. See, I'm getting that barn door ink off of my pink hearts. And there's just a little bit of a darker red shadow on those hearts, on those painted hearts. There you go, but you can see up above where you can see the little heart backgrounds on the paper. Alright, next step, I am taking a Hero Art Studio Calico set. It's a cling set. It's the grid set. I am taking Faded Jeans and inking that one up. Actually do it this way. Inking it up again, and you can see how I have the grid on my background. Again, I'm going to just take this and get this wet and rub off on my hearts. So that blue does not show up very dark on my hearts. It's more just on the paper that's been inked and not painted. See, now you can see here I'm still wiping off just a little bit of that other ink and on the faded jeans. So now I've got a background that has almost 3 layers on it. I'm going to take a little bit of weathered wood, go along my corners or the edges of all of my backgrounds, and just blend this in. There we go. Again, I'm going to take this paper towel, wipe it on my hearts that may have gotten a little bit of that weathered wood. There's your background. We're going to heat set it one more time. And the last step is we're going to take a little bit of Perfect Pearls Mist in bronze and shake it up. You can hear, because there is a mixing ball in there, you can shake this one. You don't have to just swirl, you can shake it up good. And I'm just going to give it just a few little sprays. Take my paper towel again, lightly dab off the painted hearts. And you can kind of see that it's beading up on the paint, so it's pretty easy just to whip that up. Clear off your mat and heat set that one more time. There you go. And this has a nice shimmery pearly finish that I'm pretty positive you're not going to be able to see on the camera. But there is our background for our card. That's what it looks like when it's completely done. I just did a little border, did a Kaisercraft stamp for the sentiment, and there you go. Thanks for joining us here to walk down memory lane. I hope you have a fantastic day.